Welcome to Law Firms on the Map, the go-to digital marketing show for attorneys serious about their business growth. I'm your host, Kristaps Brencans, CEO of On the Map Marketing. Our agency has helped thousands of attorneys crush their SEO and digital marketing goals over the last decade. Today, I'm meeting with Isadora Padoa, Senior SEO Manager here at On the Map Marketing, and we'll be discussing a concept called EEAT and how it influences law firm SEO campaigns. Isa, to kick things off, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, and welcome on the show. You're one of our first guests, so I'm really excited to have you on.
Yeah, I'm super honored. Thank you for having me. Well, I've been working in SEO for the past 3 years, I think, almost 4. Like many people, I didn't know that I wanted to work in SEO. I barely knew what it was when I first started as a little SEO intern. But, made my way to OTM. I've been here for about a year, I think. Yeah. And a really cool part of how I got into OTM is that I first got connected through Women in Tech SEO, which if you're a woman and you're into SEO, or if you want to get into SEO, it's a great resource. It's a global community of women that come together for sharing knowledge. And also for getting jobs, getting freelance contracts.
Right. I think that's where we found you too, right? On the internal job board. Anita, our SEO director, she's like, yeah, I found this amazing candidate, Isadora. She's in Brazil. Also same time zone with us here in Miami, Florida. So that was exciting. And I think you guys also have their like a mentorship program, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I was a part of that as well. It's an amazing program. Reach, which is the creator of Women in Tech SEO, she personally matches mentors and mentees based on their personal experience, their experience in SEO, where they want to be headed, and also some of their aspects of career in general. So it's an amazing opportunity for someone who wants to up level their career.
Wow. Well, awesome. So you got into SEO, you got connected through Women in SEO Tech with us, and then you got exposed to a law firm SEO world. How's that journey been for you?
Yeah, it's been completely new. I had never done law firm SEO before, and also it's really different because I'm currently in Brazil, so the whole law firm market is different around here. So I definitely had a lot to learn. But it's a really interesting niche, and also one of the first times where I was able to really focus on a specific niche. I have a lot of law firm clients, and that's definitely helpful when you're looking to actually know more about a specific area of SEO, because it does have its intricacies, so to say.
Right. I remember when I started working at On the Map, which was like 8+ years ago, first thing I had to learn was like different practice areas and how, like criminal lawyer doesn't do family law. I mean, in some cases they might, but it's very practice area specific. So which one is your favorite practice area to work on?
Oh, I think it's personal injury. I have a lot of personal injury clients. Yeah, so it's kind of my expertise, so to say.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, well, I think we have a pretty good portfolio of personal injury campaigns, and
definitely
probably one of the most competitive campaigns out there in SEO. So if you can rank a personal injury law website, I think you can rank anything.
Exactly.
So, on that note, us being so specialized in law firm SEO and running these high competition campaigns, a topic we have internally talked a lot about is EAT, or should we say EEAT, signals that influence SEO campains. So, for our listeners that are mix of law firm operators and law firm marketers, maybe you could tell us in a couple of words, what is EEAT? What are these signals that people are now talking about? And how does that, obviously we're going to talk a little more how it influences SEO campaigns, but why don't we start from the top level and then we'll go down to specifics of how it influences law firm SEO campaigns.
Okay, so let's get started. EAT. You can call it whatever you want. It's either EAT, EEAT, or also double EAT. Google also calls it that sometimes. Yeah. So it's an acronym for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. So these are key aspects that Google uses to evaluate the quality of a given page. And as you would guess, page quality is one of the main factors that influences actual rankings. So it's really fun to get into EAT because it's one of the few things that Google actually tells us. Sometimes Google is not very clear about what their algorithm is based on, which ranking factors are most important than others. But EAT actually came up in an official Google documentation, which is called the Search Quality Evaluator Guidelines. So we know that Google has their algorithms, and they use actually human input to train that algorithm into being able to identify what is the level of quality of a page. And EAT came into play to sort of describe these factors that can be a little bit subjective, because most likely a human eye will be able to identify it better than an algorithm. But this is why they use the human input to actually train the algorithm.
So just to kind of feed back what you just said. So first, it came up in the search quality guidelines. So these are manual checks and document that's being consistently updated of how websites are being evaluated. And I really like the point you mentioned, that one of the few things that Google actually tells us what they're looking at is this kind of quality of a web page. So could we boil this down to saying that EAT is a measure of how high quality the web page is?
It's one of the factors. So the page quality in general, it does have a lot of other aspects, and EAT is one of them. So EAT is more in terms of the authority that a page has due to the quality of the main content, but also the company that created this content in the first place, which is why it's so tied to the relevance that the company has in their niche in general. Right.
Okay. And would you say EAT applies to all web pages on a website, particularly thinking law firm website? You know, you have your practice area pages, you have your blog articles, about us page, reviews, etc. How would you analyze? Would you look at all pages together, or there's some that are more important, especially to focus on the EAT guidelines?
Yeah, so we definitely need to have some key factors of EAT across all pages on the website, but there are pages that are going to be more important than others. So since we're trying to establish relevance, obviously our most important pages are going to be our homepage, which might be the first page that someone accesses when they access the website. The About page, which is supposed to tell you what the company is about, when it was founded, sort of like a history of the company. And obviously, you're going to want to have, like you said, a testimonials page or a reviews page that's going to give you social proof so that your user is sure that they're going to get the results that you promised in the first place. And also a page that's very, very important for EAT is your contact page. So if you have extensive contact information on your website, if you are clearly available for contact by anyone who accesses your website, shows that you are being held accountable for the content that you put on your page. So it's a matter of transparency as well.
Okay. So technically it's kind of almost a quality of experience on a website. You know, are you providing expertise? Are you providing quality content? And how all that's tied together. So I want to switch gears a little bit. I know that you developed for our internal system something you call EAT audit. And I thought it'd be interesting to see how this EAT audit applies specifically in SEO niche. I know you have developed one just for our SEO, for our law firm SEO clients. Because, there are a lot of moving pieces, testimonials, badges, the content itself, pictures. I don't know. The list goes on. So I'm already overwhelmed. I'm just kidding. But I think it'd be useful for us to actually go through some of these elements. This way, our audience can kind of look at it and say, hey, if I want to do my own EAT audit, what are the main things to look at? And how would a professional evaluate this? And then people can start thinking, is my website, providing the best possible experience? Am I tying in all these elements? And actually, same time, I'm going to be analyzing if we're doing that for ourselves on our side. So I'll share my screen and we'll go over your developed audit, and then you can tell us a little bit about each aspects of it and what are you think more important ones, what are less important ones, and how one should in general go about it. So, all right, I think we should see the screen right now. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we have different EAT audits for different types of clients. This is the one that we made specifically for law firms because, as you would guess, there is different information that needs to be on a law firm website and on a website of an e-commerce, for example. So we made something that is very specific for law firms, and also it's very extensive. It's very thorough. You're right that some information is more important than other, but here we decided to cover all bases and try to get as far as we can in terms of getting this information on the website. So we use this to sort of like a guide to analyzing the website, seeing what information is there and what information is not, but it should be. So it kind of guides a process of us trying to gather this information and then add it to the website in a way that it can be easily displayed to the user.
And afterwards, we'll look at some of the examples that you put together as well, across websites out there, exciting. And a couple of our clients as well. So I see you have broken it down into sections. There's general law firm information and attorney information. So maybe let's identify a couple more important ones within each category, starting with the law firms. So I see you listed something, media presence, news articles. So what would that mean? How would one go about those?
Yeah, so a lot of law firms, they are present in the media of their own region. So either they're featured in a TV spot as a source or in a news article. And being in the media does give you an extra credibility, right? So if the media is willing to use you as a source, you definitely must be an authority in your practice area. So we try and gather that material when it's available and add it to the client's website. So if a user accesses the website and sees, hey, the media has used this guy as a source, this must be why he has a good authority. People think of him as a reference in his practice area. And then we try to include that on the website. And when we have an external link to back it up, so for example, if it's NBC, if the spot isn't on NBC's website, we can include a link and we make that connection a little bit more clear to the eyes of the search engines. Okay.
And then to run through the few other ones, awards and affiliate badges. Of course, that one's a common one in law firm sites. But I think it's interesting that, in our work, we make sure that clients tell us which ones they have. And if they don't, we actually go out and try to get some additional ones. Can you talk a little bit about legal service schema? Because I feel like that's not something that's visible to general eye.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. This is something a little bit more technical. And just so we can understand what is schema, it's a code that you include on your website. And it's kind of a direct line of communication with search engines because you are able to provide direct information about, for example, what is the name of your law firm, what is the logo of your law firm, and then a series of other information, address, contact, things like that. So schema actually has a specific markup for legal service. So you're able to tell search engines, hey, this page is about a legal service. So we generally include it on the home page and the about page. And then on this markup, you're going to be able to tell search engines what is the name of your law firm, address, contact, and all sorts of information that help contextualize the web page, so what it's about.
I think that's a nice little tip for whoever is listening, making sure that you have legal service schema added on your site. There's a quick nifty tool called validator.schema.org. We'll come back to it shortly, and we'll play around with a couple sites to see if it's added. But that's something quick to check. I wouldn't say, would you say it can provide huge ranking improvements?
Not exactly. I think it's one of the baby steps towards good rankings.
Right. There's a lot of the little gears that need to be turned. Okay.
Exactly.
So to sum up this law firm category, right, we have testimonials. A lot of these things seem just, already kind of common sense. But, when looking at a website, I think there's a lot of little areas of improvement. So just making sure you have testimonials, making sure you have all badges, and visible contact information. That was also one of the first things I learned when I came and started working out on the map was, is there a phone number in top right corner? Basic things like that. But I guess to the point of EAT audit and credibility, those things are important to make sure that law firm comes off as credible as possible and provides expertise in a way, I guess, and authoritativeness.
Yeah, you're right. And it's precisely because it's so common that sometimes it just slips by, which is why it's important for us to have an audit with a checklist, with everything written down so we don't miss anything when we're looking at the website.
Perfect. So now switching gears a little bit into what I think has been kind of the biggest movement with the whole EAT signals, which is building out the persona profiles, right? And lawyers, we all know they have pretty big egos at times. But any business operator, I think it's interesting to build out this profile about themselves. So can you talk a little bit about how EAT has started this wave of people focusing more on their personal profiles online?
Yeah, definitely. So in this case, it's good for attorneys to have a big ego because you need to boast everything that you have on your favor. You need for everything to be very clear and visible on your website. And as we know, the attorney is sort of like the front man of the law firm. So a great part of a law firm's credibility comes from the personal profile of the attorney. So the attorney is going to be the person who will be handling your case. Like, you want to make sure that your case is in good hands, which is why it's so important for EAT, for you to actually have consistent information about the actual attorney and all of the team, and not only about the law firm in general, for example. I have had clients that didn't want to include photos on the website. I mean, you do need to have a photo of yourself. You need to be able to show that credibility, right?
Right. You're a real person. You're going to be handling someone's case. And I like how you emphasize that fact.
Yeah.
I see you have listed quite a few law directories here. Can you talk a little bit about that? What's the approach with using those?
Sure. So EAT is made up of internal factors, so things that you include in your website, but also external factors. And law directories are one of the main external sources where you're going to be able to find some information about the law firm and the attorney that you're looking at. And most law directories, they also have awards and affiliations. So based on the peers of the practice area, you're going to be able to get some sort of recognition for the good work that you do in your firm. So that's one good point of having a profile in a law directory, because you will be eligible for that. And also because many law directories, they collect reviews by themselves. So it's a different source of getting reviews. And obviously it's verified because it's not just some text that you pasted on your website. So it's one more of many external factors, like media presence, for example, that can be used to measure the impact of the work that you do within your own niche.
Nice. I really like how you broke down this audit. I mean, there's a lot aspects to it. Bio, bar that they are, part of the directory links awards, education history. It's pretty elaborate. And then I did notice something here that we talked shortly before. So website has their legal service schema. And then for these profiles, we should have something called person schema. Is that correct?
Exactly. So the same way that you have legal service schema to show that this specific page is about a law firm, you have person schema to signal that your attorney page is about someone, that it's about a person. So on this schema, you can include, again, a lot of information like the name of the person, a photo, where they work, a job title, and then also things that are relevant for knowing if the person has the expertise and the experience that they claim to have. So education history, where did they go to school? Where did they work before? Which awards they got? Which associations they might be a member of? So it's really a way of signaling straight to search engines that this information is on the web page. But of course, if you mark up information on schema, if you include anything, it must be visible on your actual page as well.
Right. Very nice. Okay. I feel like we covered a lot, and without the visuals, this might be just a huge checklist that can get overwhelming. But I believe you prepped a couple examples for us that you wanted to go over. So I'd love to share my screen and talk about a couple elements on each one of those examples that we're seeing. This way, our listeners or viewers or both have a visual to go with when thinking about improving their EAT on their law firm website, or maybe just doing a quick check, have we knocked on all the aspects. So let me start sharing a different tab, and then we'll
let's dive into it.
Okay, I will start with Wilshire Law Firm, their personal injury and employment law firm, and we'll be looking at their homepage. So I believe you pulled the homepage as a great example for a strong EAT I don't know how to call it, optimization or just use of EAT, which might have just happened naturally, because it sounds like a lot of these things are just natural elements that you can add on a website, but now Google is paying more attention to it, so we have to be very more cognizant of it. So talk to us, what did you like about this homepage? Looks like they're doing, where are they located? Let's see. This law firm is out of, no address in the footer.
They're missing an address on the footer. That's an thing that they need to improve.
Oh, okay. But looks like they're in Southern California just by looking at these couple addresses.
Yeah.
So let's talk to us. What did you like about this site's homepage?
So the first thing that you look at when you access the website is the hero section. We call the hero section the main section of a page. So the one that you look at first when you first access it. And the first thing that you see is already a badge. They have a Best Lawyers badge, and it's a badge from this year. So a very strong signal that they are still in practice, that they are still being recognized by the good work that they do. They also have their practice areas listed out, which is a good sign of transparency, right? You're able to clearly tell from the first contact that you have with the website what these people can help you with. Then they have a little tagline, more than $1 billion recovered from clients for clients since 2007. So you have two key pieces of information there. They have how much they recovered, which is obviously a very impressive sum. And then they have the company's founding year. So you know that they have been around for long. They know what they're doing. And, it's a trustworthy company that has been active since a long time ago. Then they have a little section there dedicated to their media presence. So very impressive media presence. You can see that the LA Times, ABC, everyone used them as a source. So this is a great sign that they know what they're doing again. And then a little bit down there, they have
So
some
wait,
case results.
I kind of want to touch on something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like what you said about the hero image, and I think people often forget that. This hero image hit on 4 or 5 of your EAT audit points already. Affiliation with, award that they got from US News, so best law firms, and it's up to date, 2023. They tell clearly what they're doing. They're stating their results. They are saying how long they've been around, since 2007. And then 5th one is their presence on media. Only thing they're missing is linking these. Maybe they're linking them somewhere lower, but that was a really good checklist already on their behalf. They knock it all out in the hero image, which I think is a great suggestion how to think about hero images. And maybe that's even like a little formula to follow. So that was great. So let's jump into next aspects.
Yeah. And then below, they have some of their case results. A few of them are listed out. So that's a great practice. And like you said, the fact that this is in the hero section, it means that it's above the fold, which is another concept that someone who not really into marketing might not know. But above the fold content is content that you don't need to scroll down to see. When you first load the page, it's already there. And we have evidence that Google prioritizes content above the fold. So the fact that they were able to squeeze in so much important information right there when you first access the website, I think that it's a really strong point.
And their mobile experience is great too. This is, the site, you see exactly call to action, and all 5 elements are very much in front of you. Okay. Any other elements you want to talk about on this website, or we can move to the next couple other examples? I know you had a few.
Yeah, let's move forward.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so next example we have is, just a second, that is, where did it go? Sorry about that. We looked at Wilshire. Okay, Hipskin and Makovich, actually client of On the Map. So curious, what are the details you wanted to review or highlight on their website? And I see that as an example, you gave us the review page. So like you said initially, EAT applies across the entire website. It's not just the bio page, which was sort of misconception I had a little bit when I heard people talking about EAT. I always thought, it's the bio pages, but learning more about it, I'm understanding it's the entire website experience. And as your audit shows, reviews is a huge factor for, what would you say, expertise? EAT. I would say expertise. Hey, look at these reviews. We're experts in the field. So talk to us. Why did you, what do you like about this review page? How does that influences the EAT? And overall, what do you think are the highlights to take away from it?
Yeah. So for this, I like it because it's a relatively simple page. You're going to look at it. You're going to see that it's not rocket science, but it really gets the job done well by having just a few details that are really well thought out. Yeah. So at the top there, they start by stating their success rate, which is something that they do across multiple pages. And I think it's really effective because it's an important metric for determining the positive impact that a law firm could have on your case. And obviously, you can always talk the talk, but if you include a metric, a number, some sort of data, it's always going to be more effective to show your results. And then they continue by highlighting the quantity of reviews that they got on Google. So it's a third party. And this helps, of course, ensure that those reviews are actually true. Because, technically you could include anything you want on your website. You could include reviews that are not true, and who would be able to tell, right? So the fact that you got them from a third party and ensures that they are true. And then it shows how impressive the number of their positive outcome is. So if they just listed out those reviews, you wouldn't be able to know that there are over 200 of them. you wouldn't check manually and count all of them. So,
of course.
yeah, so it's really something that you're able to measure out the impact in an easier way, and you're putting that information right in front of your potential client. So that's a great practice there. And of course, as usual, they have the reviews listed out. And then on the bottom of the page, there you are, the awards and associations page. This, they are the only one that I've seen doing this. And I think that it's something incredible that they have a small description of what each badge means. I've never seen anyone. Yeah, because let's try and think from a user's perspective. Right. It's not the user's duty to understand the legal universe, like to understand what each institution does or what does that badge mean, right?
Right.
But they are the ones that need to understand your qualifications the most.
So that is such a great point.
Yeah, it's a great way of making it very clear what you want to transmit with this information. And it's really a signal that they think of their target audience, the people that will be using their website.
I love it. That's a great point. Great tip for everyone. Actually, I'm going to look out for more of our sites, making sure that we add these little descriptions.
Definitely.
The user experience just looks so great. Kudos to our team for building this site. This is one of my favorite sites we've done. And amazing review page. So definitely hits on all of the EAT factors and installs a lot of trust of the law firm. So that's a great example. Thank you for finding that one. So let's move to a few other ones. So I'm going to switch to, all right. So we looked at Wilshire, we looked at HM. Now let's look at a great bio page. I believe you also found another client of ours, Caceres Law. And if I recall this correctly, this bio page was part of your EAT audit development where you were testing things. And so maybe tell us a little bit about the experience, how you were thinking about crafting this page and how it hits on all the important points of a bio page. Because remember, your audit consisted of two parts, law firm website, and now we're looking more at the bio page itself, which I think is the newer aspect of EAT that people are starting to pay attention to, like, okay, how developed your profile is.
Exactly. So this is a page about Dale, who is the main attorney on Caceres Law. And when we first got to this page, all there was that little description about a little bit what she did in the past. And then we tried to think how we can improve this and make it much more clearer to the user that she is a very qualified attorney. So the first thing that we did was to gather all of her recognitions. Again, all of these are from law directories, which really helps us understand the importance of having a well-maintained profile there, because it's not enough for you to just create your profile and leave it there. You need to actively go after reviews. You need to ask your clients to rate you there. So this way you can use it as a method to get more recognition. Then we have her affiliations. So all of the associations that she is an active member of. This shows that you are well seen within your niche and you're well seen by your peers. So you're an active member on your community. Then we have her work experience, which is, this one is really valuable because Dale works with personal injury, car accidents, and she was actually an injury operations manager at an insurance company. So this really shows that she knows the ins and outs of these companies. And then we have her education history, so where she went to school.
Also linked, very nice.
Exactly, so this helps us to establish that connection with an authoritative website, which is an university website. And then there we have just sort of her section about the Caceres Law promise, which is what she promises to deliver to her clients. So we tried to make this page as thorough as possible to really show you why Dale should be your choice for an attorney in that area. And then we actually went a little further in that we tagged all of that information with the person schema markup that we mentioned before. So all of the information
Maybe let's do a little, let me see if I can pull it up. Let me stop this screen. So I'm going to go, this is a little tip for everyone too, validator.schema.org, a free tool to use, and you can check actual schema markups on the pages. We get a little technical here, but I think some of the more successful law firm operators I've seen get pretty technical, so they might appreciate running a little test on their own bio page. Okay, so lead me, what should I pull up so we can see the actual schema markup?
Okay,
person?
So exactly. Yeah, we have different types of schema on a web page. That is completely normal, but the one that we're going to be looking at today is the person schema, because obviously our page is about delta SARS.
Right.
So on the left, we have the type of information that we are describing, not exactly on the code exactly.
Yeah,
that's fair. So we have the different information that we are providing with the schema about that person. So name, gender, description, job title, and many others. And then on the right column, you're going to find the actual information.
I see. So
here you have a very clear example of why schema is sort of like a direct line of communication with search engines. Because you can clearly show what is this information and what is the content of this information, and in a way that they're able to understand.
Very nice. So basically, every element that was added on the web page is then being translated in a code, because obviously the Google quality checkers, they're using algorithm. It's not that they're going to go manually on Dale Caceres' website and check for this information. So it's easier to pass this information back. What was the analogy you used earlier? Code is a way to communicate information. I don't, you used some kind of good remark. I forgot, what was it?
A direct line of communication, maybe?
Yes, there you go. Yes, that one. I love it. So schema is a direct line of communication on how what the website's about, to kind of provide quicker information to Google. So I love it.
Exactly.
Great example. Okay, let's look at one more example. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's see. Why don't we look at Morgan & Morgan in the media page? Obviously, everyone's aware of Morgan & Morgan. One of the EAT quality metrics, also in our audit for attorneys, is presence in media. What a better example to look at someone that's present in media than Morgan & Morgan. Obviously they're advertising a lot, and they're doing a lot of interesting things. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts about this example, that, obviously they are in media a lot, and that's a big expertise factor. So talk to us about this page and what you thought was interesting, and why did you want to use it as an example for the media quality metric?
Sure. So they are a law firm that is known for their strong media presence, obviously, but it's not enough just for you to have media presence. You need to find a way to connect your website to those external factors to make that connection a little bit more clear. So they list out every single TV spot, every single article that they were on. Sometimes they provide a small description of what it was. And then they have the most important information about it, which is where this information is available and when this happened. So when were we a part of this TV spot, of this news article?
Wow.
And they provide an external link. Exactly. So they make this clear connection between the external page where this information is available and their website. So even if, for example, they were part of a news article and that article didn't include a link to their website, which obviously would be the best case scenario. Like SEOs always want a link from the website of a media outlet. Even if that does not happen, you still have the brand mention. So Google is going to read the content on the news article page, and it's going to see that Morgan and Morgan was mentioned, and obviously they know what Morgan and Morgan is. And then when you have your link from your website to that page, you're also finding a way to make that direct connection, so that the algorithm can understand that it is you that external page is talking about. So it's a great example of how they really make the most of the media presence that they have.
Wow. Yeah. This was such a good example. This whole time when you were describing it, I just kept clicking read more, and they just keeps populating more articles.
Yeah.
So great example of how to list in the media articles that, hey, you appeared on these articles, news segments. It's very common for attorneys to come up, to appear on these news segments. So I see that they added this section. It should be this one, right? In the media?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, in the media. Okay. And boom, they list all the articles. I mean, it's very clear that this website is extremely authoritative. Why else they would appear in all these news articles? And if you click on read more, it takes you there.
Exactly.
Great example.
It's also worth mentioning that this is not only for big law firms. If you have a smaller law firm that has maybe 1, 2, or 3 media mentions, it's still worth to add that to your page, because you're going to build this out slowly. So if you already have some signals there, great. Like everything in an SEO strategy, like I said before, is one baby step towards a good result. So you're going to want to build these out slowly.
Okay. Well, these are some amazing examples. I will stop sharing my screen for a little bit. I know you had more, but for sake of your time, and I think in general, these examples kind of touched on every aspect that someone should be thinking about, from profile page to hero images to in the media to reviews. I mean, this is a perfect combination of how to build an authoritative law firm website with all the credibility factors. So we're kind of coming to an end of the conversation. What are 3 biggest takeaway points you would give someone? They're getting into SEO, they have their website. What are 3 things you want them to remember from this conversation? To go home, call their web guy, or maybe they're working themselves, or their agency, or whatever details are. What are the 3 things you want them to focus on, specifically from EAT Signals perspective?
Okay, so first, I think I'm going to go a little bit back to what I said before, that you need a comprehensive SEO strategy to actually get good results. So it's not worth doing EAT alone, or technical SEO alone, or content SEO alone. You need a comprehensive strategy that takes everything into consideration, because all of the actions that you're going to do, they are going to bring you a little bit more close to your results, but it's unlikely that you're going to get there if you do just one thing here, one thing there. You need structure for a well thought out strategy. Then I think that besides you being good at what you do, and now we're talking specifically about EAT, you need to be willing to boast about it. And you also need to show it in a way that an algorithm can understand. Because like you said, yes, we do have the search quality evaluators, but they don't influence directly search results. They just feed into the algorithm, and it's the algorithm that does all of the job, basically. So you need to show it in a way that an algorithm can understand the impact of your work within your community. And that includes both your peers and your clients. So you need to be very aware that both internal and external signals matter. And also that you need to provide the most information that you can in a way that a search engine would understand. And that is one of the biggest takeaways of schema, right? Because you're able to provide that information very directly. And for the third part, I think that I would tell you to, at the end of the day, focus on the user. because we talk a lot about EAT as being a strategy to get better rankings, and ultimately, of course, it is. But if you try to be in the user's shoes when you navigate through your website,
Right.
you are going to find a lot of EAT improvements that you could do that are just common sense. That it's just a matter of you looking at your website and very honestly asking yourself, would I trust this law firm with my case if I were a user?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's really just a matter of you trying to understand how the user feels and how they would proceed when accessing your website.
I love it. Such a good takeaway. Look at your website as your users will look at it and ask yourself, would you hire this law firm?
Exactly.
And if the answer is no, there's some EAT improvements for you to make.
There's work for you to do, definitely.
It's a great analogy. Again, you're full of analogies. I love it. Well, Isa, it was a great pleasure talking to you about EAT for lawyers. We touched on a lot of very interesting topics. We provided a lot of great examples. And I hope this podcast and video can serve as a resource for people who are looking to improve it. So I'm excited to follow your SEO journey and websites you're ranking. And I'm sure we'll have you back on a podcast with some other exciting SEO topics to discuss.
Yeah.
Thank you, Isa.
Well, thank you for having me. And keep an eye out because we are going to have more resources on EAT on OTM, right? So there's more coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.